Well, we got real problems.
Sort of, yeah.
Kind of coincidental. Just a day after, I put up a moto vlog talking about how I almost looked forward to the problems coming up because it gave me a chance to fix them. Something goes wrong with my bike. You know, to me, I don't want to say I'm excited if that happens, but it's kind of cool because one of two things is the case. Either I know how to fix it, which is cool because it feels good knowing you're competent in the maintenance of your machine, or you don't know how to fix it, in which case it's kind of cool because now you got to learn how to do something you didn't know how to do before. I got really lucky, and the problem happened like a mile from my house, and I was able to turn it around and limp home.
It's over. Go home.
But basically what was going on was, you know, all of a sudden it just started popping and like kind of like a deceleration pop kind of sound, but it was just happening like crazy. Got home, and while it was still running, before I shut it off, I felt there around the rear cylinder and could feel the air coming off the cylinder blowing. I already got the spark plugs pulled out. I don't think there's any sort of obvious problems to be seen there. So I'm gonna do a compression check and we'll see what's what from there. So I don't know if that number means much. I mean, just turn it over with the kicker, but the main thing is we've got some compression. So front cylinder, hooray, good job. That's not good. Rear cylinder is leaking like crazy. Didn't even wiggle the meter. Obviously that's where our trouble lies.
Well, you got trouble!
Bottom line is, top end of the motor's coming off. Simple as that. Here's your problem right there. That's the rear head gasket right there. I think that one's a goner. Front one looks fine. Came off, just popped right off, no worries. The rear gasket is obviously shot. It's always nice when there's no doubt. I'm gonna clean this up, make sure there isn't any problem on the cylinder head itself. The gases didn't burn it at all, so we'll figure out what's going on with that. But assuming that checks out, it should just be a matter of getting the new gaskets in and getting it all back together. Everything else, I mean, looks pretty good. Valves look fine, the combustion chambers look fine, and everything's pretty much ready for reassembly. Got everything all cleaned up. The base gaskets are off the cylinders. Got a great suggestion from Twisted Biker on the forum, where he said use some paint thinner, paint stripper. And so I got some aircraft paint stripper, dabbed it on with a Q-tip, waited a few minutes, scraped it off, repeat that process a few times. Base gasket's surface came out real nice and clean, no worries at all. Cleaned up the top of the cylinders a little bit. Those came out fine. Sprayed a bunch of parts cleaner through the oil ports, trying to make sure no gunk ended up in there. Got this thing here. This is a piece of granite that I got from a local granite countertop fabricator guy, and they just throw away these cutoffs. So I'm assuming that's about as close to perfectly flat as I'm ever going to get. So what I did is I took the the heads and set them face down on that, and then The spec is right there, 6 thou. So I used this 6 thou feeler gauge all the way around, make sure I didn't have any warp on the heads, particularly the rear one, which is this one, since that's the one where the gasket blew out. They all checked out. The combustion chambers are fine. I actually set these upside down, laid, propped them up so they laid flat, poured kerosene in each one and let it sit overnight. Actually, well, obviously I had put the spark plug back in when I was doing all this. Anyway, filled them full of kerosene, let them sit overnight, didn't drip a bit, so the valves are sealing fine. So that's pretty much it. I think we're ready to start putting this thing back together. Oh, hey, got a tip from Shex on the forum. He said use some of this copper gasket dope stuff on the new gaskets, so we'll give that a try. That's not the same brand that he recommended, but hopefully it's just as good. We'll find out. All right, here we go. Yeah, oh no is right. I put these videos together mainly just for fun. But the main thing is I just want to get the job done. And what happened on this was my battery died on my fancy pants camera that I was using to film this. So, got as far as we got, and that was the end of that. But good news is, bike's back together, got it started, went out for a test ride, everything works fine. Seems to be completely oil tight, no leaks, no drips. Everything works, so problem solved, job done. The only thing I was thinking about when I was out riding around is, the truth of the matter is, something like repairing a blown head gasket, it's kind of like putting a new furnace in your house. I mean, it's nice having something that's brand new, that's nice, but at the end of the day, you're basically back to where you started. All you're doing is working to get back to even, and you're however much time, money, and effort behind. But anyway, here we are, all fresh new gaskets. This motor shouldn't need to open it up really, ever again. We'll see how it holds up over the long haul. That's that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great afternoon. Talk soon.